Hey everyone, how's it going? As you can see, this is probably not the video that you're expecting. It is November, it is about 6 to 7 hours after the market close, and I made a beautiful video for you full of analysis, but unfortunately, before we could get it to you, my computer died out and is not functioning anymore. So unfortunately, I won't be able to get it out. So let me just quickly summarize what we talked about in the video today. So as expected, today the S&P 500 did trade mostly non-directionally. Actually, it traded up in the beginning of the day, then it went quiet and sideways into the FOMC meeting. Volatility picked up, but only about double the volatility as earlier in the day, while when we got the FOMC announcement. So normally after FOMC announcements, we see 3, 4, 5, 6 times the volatility after that announcement. The fact that it was only double led us to believe that there was nothing new, nothing surprising, and certainly the rates did not change, and that was what was priced in by over 98% this morning. So we got exactly what we expected, and the markets in the last hour rallied and moved upwards. Now remember, in the last hour to hour and a half, it is the most active time for institutional traders. Institutional traders don't know the fund withdrawals, the fund additions throughout the day, so it's not until the last hour, hour and a half of the day that they get the opportunity to actually trade based on their fund flows. That's why you see higher volume and higher activity towards the end of the day. And if we did compare the volume on the first 1.5 hours of the market versus the last 1.5 hours of the market. And even though the second most active time in the markets is the first 1.5 hours, we saw that the volume was way larger, in the cumulative volume was way larger in the last hour and a half. So seeing that surge up in the last hour was a positive sign that we are taking on risk. Institutions are investing money into the markets, and we expect that the upward movement in the S&P 500 can continue. So today, it was stronger than we expected. We thought maybe we might get up to that MA 200, but what we got instead was all the way up to the EMA 20. So it was a lot stronger than we had anticipated, and that's positive. That gives us a lot more confidence that we could reach that the MA 150 and MA 50 levels. On the QQQ, we saw very much the same story, same price movement throughout the day, same large volume at the end of the day, same upward movement at the end of the day. So very optimistic that the QQQ can go upwards. It crossed its horizontal resistance, which was that blue line that you saw on the charts in the earlier videos, and it approached its EMA 20 as well. Now, the major difference between the QQQ and the S&P 500 is, one, QQQ is not looking as strong, and two, the MA 50 was very close to the EMA 20, or a lot closer to the EMA 20 than the MA 150 and MA 50s were in the S&P 500. So less room to move upwards. That gave us pause to think maybe we will just end our rally at the the MA 150. But then, and also when we looked at the IWM, we saw that wasn't nearly as strong. We did have an up day, but it hit that EMA 8, and it's not nearly as strong. We're not seeing money go into the highly speculative growth stocks, to the small cap stocks. So until that happens, we can't be super positive that we're going to re-enter our uptrend quite yet. Although seasonally, we should be entering, it's November 1st. Seasonally, we should be entering the period where we get tailwinds into the end of the year and get a Santa Claus rally. And that is especially true for years that precede a presidential election, which we have right now. So seasonality suggests that maybe we can expect a stronger rally into the end of the year. Right now, it's looking like that we could, at least in the S&P 500, reach that MA 150 and MA50 level, and we priced that at 65 to 75% chance. And then once we saw the other forces in the market, such as the VIX, such as the TLT, such as the fact that we see movement into the tech sectors, the discretionary sector, and the communication sector, when we looked at the sectors, that made us more optimistic that we would at the very least reach those levels. And then when we hit the MA50, we'll have to wait and see what happens until then. So overall, the sectors that we are looking at are XLK, XLC, XRT was much weaker, so we're not totally in line. So that gives us, again, a pause to say, hey, maybe at the MA50, that might be it for now. Or at least we'll pull back and then we'll see maybe a W bottom, or we'll resume that downward trend and get even more of a consolidation. So the average consolidation being down 15%, and so far the lowest we've hit was about 10.5%. So when we look at the XLK, the strongest sectors, we decided that XLK looked the best to us. And rather than being super bullish, because XLK is sitting right at its MA50, it's very positive. If it can break through, that's very positive for XLK, and we can expect that S&P 500 is actually going to go up and reach that MA50. But since we are at a decision point for that XLK, then it could very well bounce down from there as well. So the safer strategy, the higher probability strategy, was long the strongest stocks and weak the short the weakest stocks. So we decided on Meta as a very strong stock within XLK, and Baidu as a very weak candidate inside the XLK. We decided on a long call in Meta at the money, December 15th, and a long put for Baidu, December 15th, also at the money. So a 105 strike put, a 310 strike call. And to balance out the deltas and balance out the dollar investment, we decided on 1 Meta call and 3 Baidu puts, and we showed that out on OptionStrat and saved it. There is more in the video, I'm sure. I'm not remembering exactly everything. Everything I just told you is just rote memory. My computer's not working, so I'm not even looking at a screen. So all of this is just pure memory. Tomorrow morning, obviously, if my computer isn't functioning, I can't give you a video, unfortunately, and same with the afternoon. So we'll just have to wait and see whether or not I can get my computer issues resolved, but hopefully I can, and we can give you the pre-market and post-market analyses. If not, at the very least, I might do something similar as I'm doing right now. I guess I would have to look at everything on my phone first, and then send out to you, or maybe I can screen record and look at my phone while I'm looking at that commentary. Now, that's obviously not something that I do on a regular basis, and it's much more difficult to look at things on my phone, but we'll do our best. I'll get you my thoughts and the analysis somehow for the pre-market and the post-market. If not on a recorded message like this, well, hopefully on a normal video with my computer functioning properly. But if not, I will either do a voice record like this, or I'll try to do a screenshot from my phone, or at the very least, I can send out a post and you guys can read it. So once again, let's keep our fingers crossed that tomorrow we have functioning video. But no matter what, I'll get the video and the analysis, or not necessarily the video, but the analysis out to you guys. Have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will communicate with you in the morning.